The pristine fall foliage of western Pennsylvania serves as the perfect setting for one of harness racing's most prestigious events, the Breeders' Crown. Coming up at Ladbroke at the Meadows, 4 spectacular races, which could determine divisional honors for older horses. Up first, the horse and gelding Trot, where No Sex Please hopes to say no way to those who dare to challenge. But the defending Breeders' Crown champion should be pressed by world champion Florida Jewel and the blazing hot Billyjojimbob. The weather outlook tonight is ominous. It is 48 degrees now. The temperature expected to plunge into the low 40s. It has rained intermittently throughout the day, and the forecast is for rain tonight. The track surface could be a factor. And Gary, the texture this year for the older horses is a lot different. We really don't have a dominant horse.
No Peace Corps, no Mac Lobel, Bruce. As a matter of fact, they have been such dominating forces in the Breeders' Crown the last several years. They're not here this year, and quite frankly, there are many horsemen that are quite happy and thankful that they are not here. What it does, it leaves these races wide open. They're wide open affairs, and all 4 could determine divisional honors tonight.
Well, the big focus tonight might be on a driver instead of a horse. John Campbell looks to become the first pilot ever to amass $100 million in purse earnings.
We would need a separate show to list his accomplishments. He's unbelievable. Fact is, as the leading driver in the sport in the country the last 5 years and scoring an all-time single-season high of 1990 of $11.6 million, there's no wonder that John is close to the $100 million plateau, and he's only 36 years old.
Horse and gelding Trot, 11 will go postward. And the defending champion in this division is No Sex Please, who captured the title 1 year ago. No Sex Please will go up against 10 others. This is a very competitive group, and overall 5 of the 6 past winners in this race have captured divisional titles. Right now, Gary Seibel has a look at the top contenders.
This year's horse and gelding Trot boasts the bulkiest field of tonight's 4 Breeders' Crown events, as 11 will go to the post. It's a well-balanced group gunning for divisional honors. Defending crown champion and 1990 divisional winner in both the U.S. and Canada, No Sex Please has hit the board in 11 of 12 starts this year, despite being plagued by injuries. The field's only millionaire, this altered son of Briscoe Hanover, set a world record in winning last year's crown event in a mile that could best be described as awesome.
He's holding on by 2 and goes on to a sharp victory here in the Breeders' Crown, and the time 1:55 flat. Sensational.
Well, he's a great horse, and what makes it so special for me is my son owns him, and there's a special feeling there, you know, obviously because it's your son. So, you know, he's just a great horse, and maybe I put a little too much pressure on myself when I drive him because of him. So we just all can do is hope for the best.
Leon and Linda DeVisser acquired a Jewel when they purchased Florida Jewel in the winter of 1990. The dominant older trotter of 91, this homebred 7-year-old gelding by Christus Crown has bagged more money this year than anybody else in the field. Florida Jewel showed his ability and speed earlier this season on Hambletonian Day at the Meadowlands, when he set a world record for his age group, powering home in 1:54 over fellow Crown contestant Bold Herbert and mare trot contender Peach Pit. It was a happy winner's circle scene that day for the DeVissers, trainer Joe Holloway and driver John Campbell. It's a scene they hope to repeat tonight, this time adding a crown to the Jewel.
John Campbell and Ron Waples have dominated this race over the years. They have won 5 of the 6 between them. Here's a look at the odds for tonight's horse and gelding Trot. Your worst nightmare 7-2. Florida Jewel is listed at 4-1 and Bold Herbert at 9-2. No Sex Please 3-1. Looking to repeat from a year ago, Billyjojimbob is 7-1. We'll take a short break and we'll come back and get ready for the first Breeders' Crown race of the night, the horse and gelding Trot. It all comes down to the Breeders' Crown. It continues in a moment. And they're set to go at Ladbroke at the Meadows, the horse and gelding Trot. Here are the current odds. H.H. Killington 9-2, Florida Jewel bet down to 5-2. And Billyjojimbob 5-1. This is a 5/8 mile oval. The stretch is 608 feet. Here's track announcer Roger Houston.
Has to offer in the certified vacation Breeders' Crown. Here they go. Steer off the running, going to the lead. Number 4, Super Speedy, between horse the 2, AJ's Image. Up on the outside, into the turn, the 7, Cougar Low Bell. The outside, the 8, No Sex Please, charges to the front end to take the lead. Racing down along the rail, the 1, Your Worst Nightmare, gets away 5th as the race around the turn. AJ's Killington between horses as the race over to the first quarter in a speedy 27 1/5. Into the lane, passing into the first time, coming to the 3/8. No Sex Please gets to the wood, racing up on the outside. AJ's Image going the long mile second, racing into the turn third. Super Speedy fourth on the outside. AJ's Killington as the race around the turn. Your Worst Nightmare fifth, up on the outside. Backstreet Guy now sixth and coming on, followed to the outside with Billyjojimbob past the half, 57 3/5. Racing to the backside, Cougar Low Bell locked in at the rail. Up on the outside, Florida Jewel. Down along the rail, Jazz Bro. From way back, Bold Herbert can see them all. Down the backside they go. We got 5 in, 6 on the outside. Into the turn, on top of the field as the race around the turn. It's AJ's Image to get his head to the front. No Sex Please, moving 3 wide on the outside. Billyjojimbob now 4 wide. H.H. Killington between horses, 3/4, 127-4 as the race around the final turn. It's Billyjojimbob on the outside. No Sex Please fights to hang on at the rail. Down the stretch they come. Billyjojimbob with a furious rush, Super Speedy. Billyjojimbob, 157-4. Billyjojimbob.
So Billyjojimbob captures our first Breeders' Crown race tonight, driven to victory by Paul McDonnell. And McDonnell, the man who 1 year ago turned in the amazing story with the come-from-behind story 1 year ago. And there's a look at the winner tonight, Billyjojimbob. 10 wins coming into tonight, and now the 11th victory, a big one.
Well, you know, owner Lori Wade commented that if she ever owned a colt, she would name him Billyjojimbob after the many members of the Walton clan of the popular CBS family drama, The Waltons. You remember that? This looked like the whole Walton clan coming on here. They were driving 4 and 5 wide on the stretch, and Billyjojimbob taken out 3 wide around that final turn. It was an excellent move and the proper timing here, and Billyjojimbob just gets up over Super Speedy. An excellent effort there. So Billyjojimbob takes the first Breeders' Crown event of the night.
So Billyjojimbob, the winner, owned by Lori Wade, bred and trained by Michael Wade. The homebred, a winner. We'll be back. Well, there's a look at the happy winner's circle. Paul McDonnell, who drove Bay's Fella to victory last year, now drives Billyjojimbob in the horse and gelding trot in the Breeders' Crown. Billyjojimbob was odds on his last 4 starts, got away at 5-1 tonight. Here's the returning prices. Billyjojimbob, $13.89, $80, and $6.40. Super Speedy finished second, $16.20 and $9.60. And H.H. Killington was third, $5 even. Time of the mile, 1:57 and 4. Billyjojimbob, sired by Balanced Image out of the tough cookie mare Ginger Jewel. Right now, let's go to John Pavlak.
I guess nothing is better than perfection. 2 drives in the Breeders' Crown Series and 2 victories. This was a thrilling drive as you turned for home. Did you find better footing out in the middle of the racetrack, Paul?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was, but he just had a ton of trot when I pulled him, and I just let him trot around the last turn.
Were you sort of happy to see the speed duel on the front end between AJ's Image and No Sex Please set it up for you a little better?
Well, it sure helped. You know, I knew there'd be, with 11 horses in the field, there'd be a lot of speed up front, and when I hung back, it sure helped me.
All right, let's take a look at it and see if we can get your comments, Paul. He is second over, I believe, behind AJ's Image on the outside. Here they're turning for home. Why make the move now?
Well, it looked like AJ's Image was struggling a bit on the outside, and I wasn't sure how much horse Ron Waples used up to get to the front, and I thought I'd make my move around the turn. The horse trots the turn real well, so when I let him go, he just had a ton of trot.
Is there just better footing out there? This really work out well for you because of that?
Well, there could be. Like I say, I didn't even hit the wood, so I wouldn't even know how the footing is on the rail, so it turned out good.
Later tonight, Bay's Fella, the horse you stunned the harness racing world with last year. Good luck, Paul McDonnell.
Thank you very much.
All right, back to you, Bruce Beck.
Thank you very much, John Pavlak. Here are the official results. The final order of finish. Billyjojimbob was your race winner. Super Speedy was second. H.H. Killington finished third. Your Worst Nightmare was fourth. No Sex Please, last year's winner, was fifth. And Bold Herbert was sixth. Backstreet Guy finished seventh. A.J.'s Image, who contested for much of the mile, finished eighth. Florida Jewel, Cougar Lobel, and Jazz Pro. But the story tonight, Billyjojimbob, his 11th race of the year, and in his last outing, he was not feeling well. He finished fourth. Tonight, he comes back very strong.
Billyjojimbob was very sick last summer, and they only gave him a 50-50 chance of recovery, and they didn't even expect he would race again. Not only did he race, but he raced a superb mile there, came back to win the Breeders' Crown. I would have to say that Billyjojimbob is now in the thick of things for the hunt of the horse and gelding divisional honors this year.